Hey, what up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. The draft is fast approaching, so on today's episode, we're going to be talking why I think the Cowboys should take Kyle Pitts if he's available at 10. But first, thanks for checking out today's video. If you like what you see, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That way I know that you like it. And post your comments on who you'd like to see the Cowboys draft at 10. Also, consider hitting the subscribe button, because I post Cowboys videos all the time. And if you're feeling frisky, ring the bell. That way you're always notified when I post a new video. So look, the Cowboys have a lot of needs, especially on the defensive side of the football. So with the draft fast approaching, there's been tons of different discussions about who the Cowboys should be taking at 10. You know, Kyle Pitts would be a major luxury if he's there. You got to pass on him or trade down, or do you trade up to get a Kyle Pitts? And when it comes to the draft, I have two rules. These are hard and fast rules when it comes to the draft. And I went over these two rules in the Cowboys Beat podcast, which comes out every single Friday. Go subscribe. But just to recap them really quickly, first rule, always take the best available player on your draft board. Always. Always, always, always. Because sometimes what you don't think are positions of need suddenly become positions of need. Sometimes guys regress, there's injuries that happen. Just look at the offensive line for the Cowboys in 2020. It was viewed as a major advantage for the Cowboys in a position of surplus, ends up being a major disadvantage, where the Cowboys had to push along guys that were 7th round picks or undrafted free agents. You never know what positions are going to be of need once you get in season. Therefore, don't reach for positions of need. Always take the best available player in your draft board. Number 2, when in doubt, understand these 3 things about football. Football is about the quarterback, protecting the quarterback, and rushing the quarterback. So when in doubt, take one of those positions. Now let's return to Kyle Pitts for a moment, because I know that there are a lot of people screaming for the mountaintops. The Cowboys have too many weapons. They don't need another mouth to feed on offense. It's a major position of luxury. Go and look and fortify the defense because they have so many needs on defense. And I get that. The Cowboys do have a lot of mouths to feed. But when you look down the road, Michael Gallup's contract comes up after next season. You've got Amari Cooper still on the hook at $19 million annually. And you're getting to a point in the next few years where you have an out there. So don't you want to start developing talent behind them? With CeeDee Lamb on board, you're bringing in Kyle Pitts, a guy that is a generational talent over the middle. And all of a sudden now you can look towards the future and say, we've got a lot of mouths to feed this year, but I've never heard anybody ever complain about, we have too many weapons. No teams ever say that. You've never, literally, ever heard. Have you, just think about this. Have you ever heard anybody ever say, you know what, we have too many mouths to feed on offense, too many weapons. We need less weapons on offense. Of course you don't. Because injuries happen, guys regress, things happen. So don't go into this draft thinking, we should pass on this generational talent at tight end because we just have too many weapons. If Kyle Pitts is there at 10, and I'm assuming that he's going to be the best available player on the Cowboys draft board at 10, take Kyle Pitts. But here's the thing. If Kyle Pitts isn't available, and I'll be honest, I don't think Kyle Pitts is going to be available at 10, then don't be swayed away from taking one of the top linemen in this draft either. Don't focus specifically on defense and say we need to take a defensive player. Because my guess is a guy like Rashawn Slater, the left tackle from Northwestern, will also be available at 10 potentially. And I'm not talking myself out of taking him to take a corner in Surtain or J.C. Horn when I'm going to have Slater higher on my board than either of those two corners. Take the best available player. And if Slater and or Pitts are available, they will most likely be the best available player on the Cowboys draft boards. Take one of those two if they're there. If not, I'd be willing to entertain the idea of taking Surtain or taking J.C. Horn. Now let me just add this. Tulsa linebacker Zaven Collins, to me, is the best defensive player in this draft. It's really not even close. So again, depending on where the Cowboys have him on their draft board, because if it were me in my draft board, going down guys that could be available at 10, I would definitely have Kyle Pitts, definitely have Rashawn Slater, and then I would have Zaven Collins. So you've heard a lot about Surtain and Horn and some of the corners at that number 10 slot. I would be perfectly fine. In fact, I would encourage the Cowboys to draft Tulsa linebacker Zaven Collins with the 10th overall pick. I've seen him projected in a bunch of different places, but again, I think he's the best defensive player in this draft, and I think he is a perfect linebacker for the modern game. So without Pitts, without Slater, I'm taking Collins at 10. But the bottom line here, And the reason that you have the luxury of being able to potentially take an offensive player at 10 is because you have 10 draft choices in this draft. That's second to only the Eagles, who have 11. And 4 of those 10 draft selections are top 100 picks. So you have the luxury to take best available at 10, because down the road, if you see a player that's still in your draft board, that's really high in your draft board, that's up there early in the second round, early in the third round, and you want to move up, you have the luxury to package multiple picks later on this draft in order to get up and select a player that you think is being undervalued. They aren't going to end up taking 10 players in this draft. They can package multiple picks to be able to move up to take guys that fall through the cracks that they like on the defensive side of the football. Always take the best available in this draft, even if it's an offensive player and an offensive stud like Kyle Pitts or Sean Slater, and figure the rest of the draft out later, because you've got multiple picks in order to move up to try to take some of these guys that you think are being undervalued in the marketplace. Thanks for checking out today's video. Again, shout out to my sponsor at betonline.ag. Betonline.ag is your online sportsbook experts. Also, consider hitting like or subscribe and ring the bell. That way you're always notified when I post a new video. And of course, make sure to post your comments below and tell me who you think the Cowboys should draft at 10.